Welcome back to MadTakeTV. I am Jeremy, the face you look at when you tune into this channel. Joining me once again, right after the previous video, my boy Dre. We're here to talk about episode 2 of Daredevil, Born Again. So yeah, the episode title is Optics, written right down there on your screen. Anyway, I said Optics is an interesting title.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked it.
me
I
too.
like the title because they stayed with the theme
Throughout.
throughout the without even going into details about what happens throughout the episode. We'll break it down, but
Yeah.
this episode was all about appearances, and I like that.
Well,
I,
even
I
just
like,
in just the overall theme of optics, we're, our main character is a blind superhero.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that too. But
So
yeah,
like
no, I
that, yeah,
like
it was
how
just all in
everything
all,
was
it was a
about
good, like
what
a
it could.
crazy good
Everything was
title.
all about what things could appear to be and controlling the image that is being shown. So I thought this was cool.
Yeah. So this
Because the
is
optics on the first scene, the thing that kicked off the action, the optics for that were not what they appeared to be, which
yeah,
is why the ball got the rolling. You know what I'm saying?
right. Are you talking about the subway scene?
The subway
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So
He
this is
saw
what
something.
right.
Go ahead.
We get Fisk opening up, and we already went over it in the last video, but he addresses the city, and this is where he talks about we don't need a man with a skull on his chest, a guy in a spider uniform, or or Daredevil. We don't need anybody like that. And then we get the subway scene. Yes. So then, yeah. So guy runs down the stairs. Two guys beating up on another guy. He goes to just help, and dude trips over his boy and ends up getting smashed by a train. Just like
Yeah. Shout
blammo.
out to the train conductor.
Yeah. Dead. So they ended up being cops. So the dude they're about
Yeah,
to
the
beat up
scene,
run off, and he picks up his phone. He's like, "NYPD, don't move." I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't see
Yeah, the
that one
scene was
coming."
crazy because the guy was walking, he's minding his business. He sees a guy being accosted by two other men, and he doesn't like bullies. And he doesn't like bullies for a specific reason we'll get into later, but he doesn't like bullies. He runs in to try to help. They told him to mind his business. They did tell him,
Yep.
it's got nothing to do with you. Mind your business.
Right.
He's like, I don't like people being bullied and blah blah. He
Right.
did his little
You're a
puffed his
guy.
chest out.
You're picking on somebody who can't defend
Yeah,
themselves.
you
Just
picked on
automatically
somebody who can't
assuming
defend
that the
himself.
dude can't defend himself.
Yeah, so he just saw something that he wanted to see basically, and he turned it into a situation where he wound up fighting two men, and one of the men, like Jeremy just said, wound up getting hit by a speeding train who clearly was an express train and was not interested in stopping there, and the other guy instantly pulls out his service weapon and says, it's "NYPD, freeze!" And it's like, oh shit, y'all was the police, but it's like you just assume something. So I thought that was dope to even start it like that because that's a situation
Optics.
people can't find themselves. Famously, without getting too far off of the track of the show Daredevil, this is what Tupac Shakur, the rapper of great fame and fortune, was on trial for. He saw two men accosting his two white men was accosting his black brother, and Pac saw him and he shot the motherfuckers. and went back to the club and finished performing his show. And it turns out this was the police, and Pac went to trial for this. Pac shot the police. That's a little fact for the kids who don't know. Some of our rappers actually did shoot people too, but just for different reasons. But
Right. So then, right after that, the opener, and I didn't notice this in the opening sequence. So the new opening sequence, I didn't notice it in the first episode, which is where I must have written it down now. So I guess this would have been the fourth time I've seen it. So what it is it's like all the different aspects of Matt's life in stone, and they're all crumbling. And by the end of the opening sequence, all of those crumbled pieces build up Daredevil. So I was like, that was clever. They did
shout
some
out
work.
to imagery.
They did some work on the was optics and design. They did some work. Shout out to
Right.
Severance. Right. They did their work. But
Everything comes back to Severance.
it just comes after the opener. It comes into BB Urich. She's kind of interviewing some of the city goers. Again, we're getting a feel for how people feel about Daredevil, how people feel about like Fisk as mayor and things like that through these little interludes with BB Urich and her. I want to say it's got to be like a YouTube channel essentially, that she's running.
Yeah, she's a vlogger.
A vlogger, right? So then Mayor Fisk takes his office and he meets his aide. She mentions that the police commissioner won't return his calls. Why are his knuckles bloody? They made a point to show his bloody knuckles in this. Is that him putting an end to Adam?
I don't know if he was still. My first impression when I saw that, I thought, okay, what's the timeline? How long has it been since he got out? How long does it take to heal bloody knuckles? Is he at home punching walls or something? I don't know how
he
fresh
healed from a shot to the face.
I mean, well, yeah. Some face shots is easy to heal from.
Yeah, bloody knuckles,
But no,
stick around
no.
for a while.
I didn't know. Yeah, but no, seriously. When I looked at it, my first impression was that is this just scars from what he used to be, and that's kind of where
it looked fresh, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It could have been fresh too. So
it's hard to say, but I thought they made it a point of showing it but yeah, I guess it could. If you look at it again, it could just be kind of old wounds. I'm not really sure though. They look fresh to me, like he was just popping somebody in the mouth last night.
Yeah, and if he's doing that, then that'll be. I feel like that'll be a little too soon for him to go off the rails.
I think it is too. And yeah, we'll see though. There's that dark part of it. Like I said, they're driven by these.
He's definitely gonna want to punch somebody.
Yeah, for sure. So she mentions the aide mentions, and I didn't catch her name. Did you?
No.
Anyway, his aide, she basically tells him that his wife not being around is hurting his optics basically with traditional voters. Mm-hmm. Knowing he's married and her not being around in the pictures and standing next to him during the podium speeches and all that is well. And the other thing is he already won the vote, so like I don't get why she's like hurting you with voters. Does that mean like they're already thinking about the next one?
Yeah, they always
got to be thinking that.
Yeah.
That was
you got to be ready for the next election cycle. A lot of the work of public office is working to keep your job. So
right.
You can keep thinking about, especially elected officials.
Right. Then we cut to Matt in a police station talking to a client, and then he ends up overhearing, using his super hearing, hears them beating the shit out of Hector in the interrogation room. So he goes in and, just waltzes in there. Like, I get he's a lawyer and stuff like that, but, like, who just waltzes into interrogation rooms in police stations? I guess lawyers do. Anyway, he goes in there. He uses his powers to, like, be able to tell if this dude is telling the truth or not. He knows he's telling the truth about what happened in the subway, but picks up that he's hiding something else.
He's definitely being a little bit deceptive. He's not so much deceptive as he is being secretive with something.
Right. And again, I just want to shout out to the audio and camera tricks they're using to visualize these are badass. I had that in my notes again. So, okay, then we cut to Mayor Fisk. He's in the car, which I thought was kind of a weird, kind of a cheesy, but kind of a cool scene. They get caught in traffic. He gets agitated and jumps out the car, and the aide is like, "Oh, whatever you're about to do, don't do it." He gets out, and he's just like, "Hey, foreman, who's this guy? You get over here. See this fucking hole? Fix this goddamn hole. Everything is right here. What are we doing?" Like, come on,
the guy told him that decision was tied up in red tape. Basically, had to wait for clearance from this guy to wait for clearance for that guy. And he was like, Fisk was like, "Look,
consider it
approved. Do it now. It's approved." Now, here's what's dope about that too. I mean, this one's pretty much on the nose, but this is still optics. We still on the same thing.
Same thing. He just says it. He says the sentence afterwards. Yeah.
Right. He's showing the city. Look, this is. I told you. He's showing people practically right here on the scene, and then he also showed his aide who advised him not to get out the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
look, I'm not as dumb as you think I
You
am.
might think I am,
You,
right?
you're looking at me like I'm slow, but I know what I'm doing. I know how to play people. I know how to be a man of the people.
Right.
It could have been. I guess in a
Dude,
situation
his
like that, it doesn't matter if it's being altruistic or if it's for personal gain, because at the end of the day, it's still a service. It's being done and it's helping the people out. So your motivation for
and
it
you know
really
what?
doesn't
That's the only optics that the people are going to care about.
matter. Right. The people only care
Right.
that you get it done.
Right. The I forgot to mention in the last video, but the smile that he gives at the end when he was just like, "I love New York," and he tries to smile. I got a good chuckle out of that because it was haunting. But so anyway, then we go back to Matt trying to convince Kirsten to let him take this Hector's case. She didn't want nothing to do with it. She's like, that is not what this firm needs right now. And then he like
Yeah.
appeals to whatever he appealed to get her to start the firm, and by telling her like, listen, we said we were going to take the hard cases. This is one of those cases. And he's like, all right. And then he talks to
Yeah.
Cherry and he's like, I need you to go. I need you to look into Hector. I need you to find the dude on the platform. And he says something about his story doesn't check out. And Cherry's like, wait a minute. Like, this dude's an old cop. He's like, wait a minute. You just said he was innocent, but then said his story didn't check out. And
Yeah.
Matt laughs and he's like, yeah, it's both.
Yeah. And then we did. Just in case anybody's following only this show, we did forget to mention in that moment the original subway incident involving the two cops. The guy who was being accosted by the police officers definitely turned around, looked, and then ran off.
Ran away, yeah.
And so this guy is now the key witness to defend the guy who basically is on trial for murder or manslaughter, or
He
who
is,
will be on trial for
but
murder or manslaughter.
the cops lied. They
Yeah,
said there was nobody else on the platform, that it
they
was an
say he just
unprovoked
walked up and
attack.
started a fight.
Yeah. So they
Right.
lied about that. So, and then what they end up like wheeling him into court, and this motherfucker is still wearing the same clothes that he was wearing on the platform, which I don't know, didn't make a lot of sense to me. Did that shit all just happen in the same day? Is that what it was? Like
No,
he
but
was
I
in there
mean, why would
overnight, and they
that?
like I didn't know that the court system moved that fast.
No, because depends on what day it is. It's people who've been arrested before can tell you. If he got arrested and he had to sit in the bullpen over the weekend, his first appearance might be on a Monday if he got arrested
Well,
on a Friday night. Either
also
way, he won't have time to go home and change.
no. Well, I thought they would put him in some like a jumpsuit or something. Like he would have been
No, that's only when you get to prison that you get a
prison,
jumpsuit.
right? Fair enough. So I guess it all makes sense. But he like the judge denies him bail instantly,
Hmm.
which annoys Matt. Matt didn't even get to say anything. Oh, there's the big lawyer, the Hawk, the Hochberg
Yeah.
or whatever they called him. So he's the DA. And
But also, we would be remiss if we don't point out that in this scene, the reason why the judge denies bail immediately is because we're still on theme. This is optics. This would look bad if I even consider giving bail to a cop murderer. This would look bad.
right,
I don't even want to hear
we're
anything.
still on the
He
theme
ain't
of
getting no bail.
optics.
Right? Like
Right.
no.
So that was I was going back to because Cherry makes a really good analogy. I guess we'll get to it when we get there about the machine. When he
Hmm.
says when a cop gets killed, a button gets hit on a machine that just goes. So I
Hmm.
guess maybe they would have a cop killer. They wouldn't have made him sit till Monday. He probably would. They're like, we're gonna push this through as soon as we can because we got to get rid
Yeah.
of this witness. We can't have
Oh
this
yeah, it's gonna
dude
take
come through.
priority.
We got to get this done right away, right? So then we go to BB, and she is basically she tells Daniel, he's like, oh, so you was using me when you gave me your number the other day, and she's like, yeah, basically, yeah, we could be political friends with political benefits. So she's trying to get into the mayor's office for a meeting with Fisk,
He wants to
which
get a sit down to speak to Fisk. Yeah.
she used the young man that you know is on the same level with her as far as like the social media and being a part of the younger constituents. She basically rats out the commissioner, bro. She tells Fisk what the plan is. Not that he maybe have already didn't know, but he has not been able to get a hold of the commissioner. He's
Right.
tried several times, and the guy won't give him the time of day. But she said she tried, and she couldn't get him. And she heard somewhere that he plans to resign, and that most of his boys are going to follow him out the door.
Yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of cops.
Right. So she gives him a heads up on this. So, like, where does she sit? And she obviously doesn't know that this is the man that murdered her uncle. Well, that's right. It's not her
Well,
dad, it's her uncle.
to be fair, I don't know if she was saying that to him to be confrontational. The way it came off to me is it was almost like she was goading him into saying us doing something that she can use as viral or whatever. But even though, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they take a? They took her phone.
They did.
He wasn't filming this, but
No.
she still said this as though. To me, it felt like she was taking a little poke at him. She was digging at him a little bit, just to
Okay.
let him know like you're not you're not as in control as you think you are. There's people out here that really don't fuck with you. I feel like, to me, that's what it felt like she was doing.
Right. So then, as all journalists do, she takes it too far and asks about his wife, and he shuts the shit down. And of course, dude gets mad at her because he obviously told her not to fucking ask about that.
Right.
She asked anyway. He didn't answer. He just fucking shut it down.
He
So
didn't
then,
even look at it anymore after that.
right. So then we
He
go to
kind of
like,
just looked off at his papers
yeah,
like,
he's like,
all
all right, I
right,
gotta do what I
I'm
gotta
done.
do and get the fuck out. So then we go to book club or like a book signing for Matt's new girlfriend, Heather. And I think we get another candidate for somebody who could possibly be the serial killer. And I called it too soon on the other one before I saw this kid. I guess I missed this scene the first time I watched it or wasn't paying attention or something.
This
But
guy does have serial killer
real
face.
super sweaty, and he tells her, "I need help," and she agrees to meet with him. She's like, "We'll figure it out," and he's like, "All right, thank you," And so then we get Fisk's dude. I think his name is Buck. Come up and get an autograph. He's basically casing her out because, from what we find out in a scene or two from now, that they're going to marriage counseling.
Yes, and this is the one downside to the first two episodes, and I hope this isn't a long running thing. I get the whole Sopranos thing. I like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just go flat out and say it. I really don't like this at all, and I hope that this maybe happens 3 times in a season. I
I
don't need
hope
to
it's not
see.
something we're looking at. I think it's a one or two and done because I think there's a betrayal coming that's gonna put it, you know,
Mhm.
on the that's gonna put an end to that. So then we go to the cop's funeral, the cop who died in the subway, obviously, and so Fisk goes there because he knows the police commissioner is going to be there, so he goes there to meet him, and I like how he responds to the commissioner when the commissioner says to him, "Real nice of you to show up to a cop's funeral at the end of it," and he's like, "Well, I didn't want to take the attention away." Because he
Mhm.
knows that if I show up here, I'm going to take the attention away from what's supposed to be happening. I like the way he responded to that, and
Optics.
which right. Uh, I don't know, man. I've seen this guy before, and I like the actor, but he always plays an unlikable douchebag.
He's a
But
little bit of asshole to use most of his
he
roles. Yeah.
fucking I wrote in my notes. I said the commish hits the kingpin on the head with his little speech. He fucking looks right through him. He sees right through him. However much Fisk wants to deny it, he fucking knows the truth right there off the bat. He's like he tells him, you know. He's like, once a thug, always a thug. And I said he's 100% correct about Fisk, and it'll show just like Matt can't keep the devil at bay. It is
Mhm.
what it is. And so now Kirsten and Cherry, then we go to them meeting with Hector's wife. And Cherry is like, again, I like his character. And she tells, go get this, or I'm gonna go get the suit. He's like, no, you just stay and talk, because I'm gonna go look the fuck around.
Right.
Like, right. So he ends up finding that, and this is where he gives the whole like speech about the machine being turned on, and it doesn't get turned off until there's an
Somebody going
answer,
down.
so somebody
Yeah.
goes down for it, which makes a lot of sense when it comes to a cop being killed. Like just in general, that happens in real life too. When they make a big deal out of this shit. So then, yeah, the big machine. He finds the white tiger outfit in the bedroom. He
And this
kicks
is a
the
problem.
right.
This is a big problem because optically, we have a new mayor. He's all about stopping vigilantism. No more masked heroes. We doing everything by the law. The police are the law. Nobody else. So now you got this masked vigilante guy who just killed a cop.
Right.
So off the bat, if this makes it to trial, you going to jail forever. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But
Right. So he, again, it's just all of this, like, too, and it just go. So, like, optically, all referring back to this title, like, this dude being a vigilante, like, made him almost see something that wasn't there. He saw two
yeah,
dudes,
he
like,
saw what he wanted to
and
see.
he saw what he wanted to see. So, like, Matt being, first of all, he's on a date, and then with Heather, and they're talking, and then Cherry calls him and tells him, like, all right, man, we got some shit going down.
Yeah, we got to deal with this.
Right. So basically telling him about the white tiger. Matt goes to the jail. Like the next scene, it's like the pacing of the show is moving quite quickly, and he goes and he confronts him. He confronts him about it, and he basically is like, it didn't matter because I wasn't wearing my suit and I didn't have my amulet or have any of my extra abilities or powers or whatever. So that doesn't matter. But still, I don't know that it doesn't. It absolutely fucking matters. Because, like you
Yeah,
said, this dude saw what he wanted to see. But Matt is okay. No, I'm skipping ahead. He confronts him about the white tiger. He basically like, "I'm sorry, man. I should have told you." He's like, "All right, now I got to go fucking figure this out." Like,
yeah.
and dude's
Because at the
obviously in
end,
pain because he's getting the shit beat out of him by the guards and
and
everybody.
and, and, and the guards and the inmates. Yeah,
Right, right. So yeah, I'm sorry if we were only 20 minutes in and we've moved through this episode way faster than the last one, but that's cool though. That's all right. But this was a good episode. So then the kingpin, the next scene is him with the commish. So the commissioner walks in his office and he's like, "I'm gonna resign, and just so you know, you're gonna need a whole bunch of new cops too." And Kingpin's like, "You know what? One more thing."
you're right. Real quick,
Again, right? Vincent D'Onofrio kills it. Like, just like, wait, one more thing, and he's just like,
I like how he did it in a way where it wasn't a crime. This is not a crime, and this
"No,
is not a threat.
no, he wasn't threatening.
But it's,
He didn't." I almost thought it
but
was
it's a
at
threat.
first, but then I was like, "Oh no, this wasn't a threat. This was blackmail." He's just like,
Yeah, but
"Okay,
it's not even a threat of I'm going to reveal something on you. It's not. I'm not the way that he did it. He had a sandwich. And he had a newspaper, and then he lifts up the paper to show the sandwich. But underneath that, you see a picture of a little girl at a school or some shit.
it looked like
Cafe or whatever.
a mom and a kid,
At a
possibly."
storefront or some shit.
Yeah, that they're in Philly on the outskirts of the city because that's an illegitimate kid.
Right. This is an
Right,
illegitimate kid that he
right,
had, and basically, I'm gonna blackmail you if you don't stay on as commissioner and do my bidding. So,
right.
that was dope as hell. I like how he did it. Like I said again, he could have just went straight kingpin. He could have said,
But he
"I
did
know about
though.
this kid. I crush your head, I beat your wife to death.
Sure.
No, he
Okay.
was just like, hey man, look at this good ass sandwich I got. I like sandwich shops, and I heard about these sandwich shops all over the city, but I went on, he's talking about a sandwich. So no, if you go back and try to say, oh, this guy's blackmailing me, he did this, I didn't do shit. All he did was talk about a sandwich.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then he was like, raises for your officers, 0. Overtime guarantees or whatever, none.
Nothing.
New cadet force, not gonna happen. Like that shit was gangster as fuck, man. He was
you're not getting nothing you asked for, and you staying here.
Right, and you're gonna stay here. However, that dude is also clever, and he's gonna try to pull some shit later on down the road. That's not over with there, but so the next scene is Matt being a fucking lawyer, fucking boss, and getting the whole. He just gets out in front of the white tiger thing instead of trying to hide it because he knows that they're gonna find it. He knows they're gonna find out. Mm-hmm. So he, instead of that, like, all right, let's get out in front of this and put the truth out there. And basically make it inadmissible.
Legally, that's his legal obligation.
Yes.
In trials, the defense and the prosecution have to do what's called discovery. They have to share information with each other, what they know. So Matt was saying that, okay, we got this information that this guy's actually a mass avenger or whatever, the mass superhero.
Vigilante, yeah.
But his position was, as it should have been, it has nothing to do with the trial. He wasn't acting as that at the time. This is not, and it would prejudice the jury.
Yeah.
If you let the jury know that this guy's running around fighting crime on his off time, then yeah, they're gonna look at him from that. You could
prejudice them one way or the other.
Yeah,
like it does, and not necessarily in a way that's like these people on the jury could be fans of vigilantes.
Yeah, they might be favorable. It could be, and surprisingly, I honestly thought the judge was gonna say, "Eat a dick." You know what I'm saying? We're going to allow the prosecution to present this, but he didn't. And I thought that was cool.
I thought it was cool too, especially after how he put it, what he denied the bail instantly, you know. But that took place in a public setting. This took place in more of a private setting.
In there watching.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
now,
then
the thing that's beautiful about it is the prosecutor cannot then go back into open court and talk about that. Because at that point, that's a mistrial. We kick this shit to the curb, like it's over.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So that's that. Right. You can't. That's that. Him. That was a fucking smart move on Matt's part, man. That was like huge. Like it was good. Like good for the lawyer part of the show because that actually was a pretty big part of the original series. Was him being a fucking lawyer and doing lawyer shit and being clever and playing net game and getting people off and whatever, you know, playing the legal game. So I'm glad that they brought that portion of it back as well, because that was also an important part of the series. So then Matt meets with Cherry like on a dock to just basically to discuss whether or not this is worth it. You know, is it should we help this dude or not? And he's like, Matt's like, dude, listen, you know, I know he's telling the truth. You know it. He's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter if you can't prove it. Also a great point. So they come to the conclusion that they need the guy from the platform. They need the witness. They have to. The cops also are going to be looking for him, which Matt fully understands. And he goes and he uses his powers in a dope ass way. Go ahead.
Qualify that sentence though.
Right.
Because it's saying the cops looking for him, it implies somebody might get the wrong implication there. The cops aren't looking for him.
Sorry.
They're looking to kill him.
They want to eliminate this witness. The dirty cop wants to make him go away so that they can substantiate their lie about Hector attacking them unprovoked. You're correct. So he's the key. The witness dude is the key. So Matt goes and he just like waits around the block, dude, and he listens for this dude to come out. He's like listening for his heartbeat, listening for his voice patterns, and he fucking picks this dude out and follows him home and waits for him to act because he knows they have to act. So he waits for him to act, gets the address on the witness, gets there seconds before the cops. And he's like, dude, I'm Matt Murdock. I know you know who I know that you know who I am. Let me in. Let me help you. And dude, as he gets there, he gets him out the back window, shuffles him out, like just as the cops show up to kill this dude. And
Mm-hmm. Another dope scene coming right now.
right,
Go ahead.
go. So wait, so
Once the cops come in, Matt's
okay,
standing
so
there.
somewhere in the way, yeah, right. I know that, but somewhere in the way we switch to the Fisks go to marriage counseling, but we already
Yeah,
discussed that.
yeah. That's,
We discussed that. Okay, yeah. So
toss
right,
that shit.
yeah. It was just in the notes in that order or whatever. So then, yeah, he comes in there and Matt's standing there like a fucking badass, and he's like, "You're the lawyer," and he's like, "If you're looking for the witness that was on the platform, he's sorry to tell you he's no longer here." And yeah, man, they make the mistake of putting their hands on old Matt Murdock. You know the Murdoch
What
boys.
this is what I didn't understand about the scene. Honestly, you can be a bad cop.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a bad cop and you can get away with some shit.
Sure.
You can't get away with just murdering the lawyer that's defending the guy who's accused of killing your partner. And why this cop decided this would be a good time to pull out a gun and let's just kill this guy right here. Like, how do you sell that?
Well, now, okay, so the bald guy that was with him, was that like I
Mhm.
didn't remember seeing that guy at all. Was he also a police officer or was he just a fucking
He could be
stooge?
anybody at this point. They
Yeah, that's
don't.
one. Well, maybe that's why he was like, I'll do it.
Mhm.
So he knew this because so the cop wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah, but it's just like, okay,
It
but think
does,
about what I'm
right. It
saying.
really does. No, I do. I am. And it
It
doesn't make
doesn't
a
make
lot of sense.
sense.
You're
Like, if
100%
you
correct.
kill him, he's found in an apartment. Oh, whose apartment was it? Because now we have to do the research.
Now it
There
all,
has to
right.
be an investigation. He's in an apartment. Oh, who is this guy? Oh, well, this guy happened to be the guy that they said didn't exist.
Right.
But
They said you're the ghost of the platform, right?
but Matt he beats
Dude,
the dog shit out of these dudes. Now he let them beat him up a
he
little bit.
he he
With
he could have easily followed that dude out that back window.
yeah.
He fucking waited there on purpose because he wanted to fight.
And no, I think he waited there on purpose also to confront them to let them know that he know they dirty and now we about to win
Right.
this trial because you dirty. And he let them beat him up. He didn't have no problem with none of that.
No.
It was the point in which the dummy decided, oh, okay, now we're gonna kill you. And he like, come on, bro, don't do that shit. Like I
Right.
let you get the licks in. I let you feel like you won a little moral victory here. You about to lose this trial. Your man's gonna get out. Your boy died for no reason. I let you beat me up. That should have been your W. You should have took it and walked away. You gonna try to shoot? All right, I'm about to beat the man. Matt beat the dog shit out these boys. Hey,
Dude,
listen,
he broke
I
dude's
can't.
arm, hit him in the face, and then bounced his head off a table so hard. Oh.
I can't recall every single thing that happened in the scene,
Hmm.
but the one thing that left an impression was when that motherfucker's face hit the floor. When like,
The second
oh
guy.
my,
Yeah.
when his face hit the floor,
Bro.
it's like all the impact went to the face, and the only like shock absorber was like the back of the
The
neck.
back
It's
of
like
your neck.
I was like,
Oh, dude. It was, and dude, it was one of those ones where the legs curl up back towards your head.
yeah, it's like,
Like,
and look, this was I was telling you when we was on the phone. The after I watched it, this was when I, with the theater speakers. So I'm watching it and like that shit just sound wrong. It's like, come on,
it
man,
was, there was like
you're
the
not
wet
supposed to do
smack
people like
against that
that.
tile floor. Yeah,
Oh my
dude.
god,
It
that
was good
shit was
stuff.
nasty.
But I'm glad they brought that. I'm glad they brought that brutality back. I can't fucking wait for it, man. I know they're just teasing us because they gave us the opening fight, and now they're moving into what Daredevil, what that show was. It wasn't just all fight, 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 fight. There was a lot of in between, and then they got that brutal, brutal fights. I'm waiting for that to happen. So, but yeah, so that was the
No,
end of
it's
the
good.
episode. Was him just giving that visceral like fucking scream, just like "Fuck, motherfucker!" Like just
Yeah, because he was
yeah,
like,
just letting it all
I
out.
don't know if it was a scream or like, why you make me do it? A scream or I'm back, bitch. It was all kind of everything was wrapped up in
Yeah,
that.
there was a lot of wrapped up in that scream for sure.
But I will
And
say this: I have to say this. I don't want to get you off track. If you got something you want to say real quick, go ahead.
No.
But we talked about this. I spoke to you on the phone the other day, and I was telling you about how the show kind of gave me Sopranos vibes, especially with the whole thing with the marriage counseling and everything. And
Right.
I told the guy I saw Gandolfini in the credits,
Oh, okay.
and I thought, well, I looked it up as we were sitting here. Michael Gandolfini as Daniel Blade, son of late James Gandolfini. Michael Gandolfini plays Daniel Blade, a protege of Wilson Fisk.
So
So it
he
is
plays the young guy.
Gandolfini's son. He's that.
Wow.
So he's James Gandolfini's son, and this is
Is
it's
Daniel
a complete
Blade or Daniel Blake?
Daniel Blade.
Blade.
No,
Okay.
Daniel Blade.
Okay.
And he's the protege of Wilson Fisk, and he's a completely new character. He's not from the comics. They made him up for the show. So I thought that was pretty cool
That
because
is
I
cool.
did, like I said, I did catch that in the thing, and I caught that vibe while I was watching the show. It felt a little Soprano-ish, especially with the nod to the Sopranos with the marriage counseling thing, which I personally didn't enjoy, but I did like that they,
That was
you
like
got
a
to
shout out to a
respect
classic,
people that
man.
came
Yeah.
up right. This guy's
Right.
father gave us one of the greatest TV shows of all time, so it's like hell yeah, put your kid in the show. Let's do this. It's like Schwarzenegger's
Wow.
kid.
Now, man, now that you say that, man, I can see
Boys
his
spinoff.
fucking face.
Yeah, it's weird, right? As soon
It's
as you say,
so
he's like,
weird.
oh,
As soon as you say it, I'm like, oh my God, yes. No wonder he kind of looked familiar. I didn't even like put that connection in my brain that he looked familiar. And oh
so
wow, that's crazy.
hopefully he turns out to be a great actor, and
I
let's
hope
see
so
how it
too.
goes.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a Gandolfini fan from way
Sure.
back when he had a ponytail with his balding head when he was a tough guy from fucking Get Shorty. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite actors in movies, especially when he wasn't super big yet. But yeah, and
Yeah.
by super big I mean super like famous. Like so yeah.
Yeah. That was that's a huge shout out. That's cool. That's a good find.
Mm.
I hadn't heard anything about that. Actually, I didn't watch like a bunch of breakdowns. I think I watched one or two today, but I didn't hear anybody say that. So like, here you go, getting that
Once
info
again,
right from the Mad Take TV
I keep
podcast.
trying to tell you folks, tell your peoples to come over here. We're
Right.
gonna do the research. We're gonna do real deep dives. We really love this
Even
stuff,
live
man.
on the spot, we'll just check it out. If we need to look
Hmm.
up something, that's awesome. But yeah, so anyway, come back, check us out next time. Mad Take TV, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, hit the bell thing so you know when we get on. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Don't forget to come back for the last episode of Severance.
Yes, we got Severance coming up. That's
Have
I
to
don't know.
come
Maybe
back
be
for the
watching that
last
shit
episode.
right now.
I
Actually,
oh shit, damn,
it
what
just
time is
it just 8:46. It just hit 1 minute
I
ago.
anticipate this being a great thing. So don't forget to come back tomorrow or Saturday morning. Depends on when we upload. We are both two older men who have other obligations, but we will try to get these things done as fast as humanly
Right.
possible. So yeah, come back
Yep.
and check us out.
Come back and check us out for Severance, and then whatever else is on the channel, check it out as well. Even if you just want to scroll through and just hit the like button on all of it, I can deal with that. So yeah,
I wouldn't even be upset if you just left comments.
comments are good. Any engagement is good for the videos. So, but yeah, so it's always appreciated, and I like having discussions about this stuff. So yeah, man, put it down below, and we'll see what happens,
I'm always
and we'll see you on the next one.